CBS News political director, John Dickerson. John, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
So the president says no. What does Boehner have to do to get the president to go from no to yes?
Right. So we're talking really now just about the shutdown of the government portion of this. Everybody seems to be in agreement on lifting the debt ceiling without any conditions. So now there's kind of a dance step, and this is the dance step that staffers have been talking about all night long. And that is essentially the White House, the president, doesn't want any concessions to be wrung out of him because the government has been shut down. So that's been his position all along. But he also knows that the House of Representatives, John Boehner, needs to show that he won something in this long shutdown fight. So what John Boehner needs to find is some set of concessions that he can sell to his most conservatives or just to his entire conference to get them to support this move. And the White House is saying we're open to talking about parts of the Affordable Care Act, but after you've ended the shutdown. So it's a question of kind of sequencing here, and that's what they're dancing around in negotiations.
Okay, but would they speak to Affordable Care, or would they speak to entitlement reform and those kinds of things?
Two separate issues. Entitlement reform, the big stuff that we've been talking about for years, taxes, growth, and all of that would be in the context of negotiations on that would go on after the debt ceiling is raised. What we're talking about here is really what the purchase price is of opening the government again, and that's still a big hurdle because the White House has always said we're not going to offer up things because you shut down the government. That's what they say to Republicans. Republicans want something, though, if after all of this back and forth, and that's what they're trying to figure out.
You know, the GOP rating has hit a record low, John. How much of a motivating factor do you think that was to the talks that we saw yesterday?
Well, this pressure has been in the system. There have been a lot of Republicans who said, even before the government was shut down, that this was a political loser. And so now there are a lot of Republicans saying, you see, I told you so. These numbers that have been consistently getting worse for Republicans. So that puts a lot of pressure to reach a deal. And that is behind a lot of the Republican movement here.
Okay, what is it you think that the president can give John Boehner that makes it possible for him to sell those 30 Republicans?
Well, that's the crucial question, Charlie. And I think that he has to give him some kind of assurance that that they will talk about probably something having to do with the Affordable Care Act. But he won't link it to reopening the government. But he'll have to say, sure, I'm open to talking about it. But I'm not sure that's going to be enough. But that's about all the president looks like he's willing to give at the moment.
At least they're talking.
At least they're talking. It all started with the Affordable Care Act of funding it. Now they're thinking, well, maybe there's something else to do here. Thank you, John Dickerson.